So Caitlin Clark was left off Team USA. We all know that at this stage. We all know that she was in the pool, did not make the Team USA. We all know that she could not go to the training camp during the Final Fours, and she was told that her first month in the WNBA was going to be her trial. And then when she didn't make the team, they started saying it was because she didn't go to camp when she couldn't go to the camp. And there was some hilarious discourse around this. Like, everybody's talking about, when they talked about other rookies that made the team, being like, well, those rookies made time. Those rookies gave Team USA time to go to camp. Those rookies made sure that they were at the last training camp. And it's like, well, those rookies were able to go to training camp because the UConn coach was the coach of Team USA, and he organized the training camps not before the NCAA tournament. And he couldn't organize a training camp during the Final Fours because UConn were always in the Final Fours because they just had a full WNBA team. That is the dumbest argument I think I've heard. And then there's Diana Taurasi, of course, being like, I made it off the back of 3 straight championships. And I'm like, well, if Caitlin Clark, I'm just going to say this. I'm just going to see what Breanna Stewart's, let's say 2016 UConn women's. If I'm just looking at this team, 2015-16 UConn Huskies women's basketball team. This is one of the best teams of all time with Breanna Stewart as a senior. I want to show you guys this team right here. Kia Nurse, WNBA player. Mariah Jefferson, WNBA player. Morgan Tuck, WNBA player. WNBA player. Gabby Williams, WNBA player. Nafisa Collier, possibly WNBA MVP this year. You've got an MVP and this year's current frontrunner for MVP. Then you had Katie Lou Samuelson, one of the best shooters, one of the better shooters in the WNBA. She's not shooting particularly well this year. When she gets it going, she's one of the better shooters. This is a super team. What the hell have I done right there? That's weird. But this is 1,000,000% is a super team. So, to hold it against her, Caitlin Clark, for staying at Iowa, and Iowa was a hell of a team, and Lisa Bluter was a hell of a coach. But to hold it against her for staying at Iowa instead of joining a super team is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous to hold it against a player playing at her local school and not joining up with, just the God Squad. You're acting had she not joined up with Paige, Alia Edwards, and a few other players, if the UConn, heck, if she'd, the year before, let's just say hypothetically Paige doesn't get injured, and their team has Caitlin Clark, Alia Edwards, Paige Beckers, you've got Lou Lopez, Seneschal coming off the bench. You've got all these talent. Of course they're winning the championship. Heck, even without UConn, let's say she goes to South Carolina. Imagine you put her on that team with Aaliyah Boston. You put her on that team with the players they have, like Camila Cardoso. Of course she's going to win a championship. But obviously she probably doesn't break every single record if she does that. But Iowa's the perfect situation for her. That can't be held against her. And at the same time, she's had an unbelievable start to her WNBA career. But this video is about whether or not she deserved to make the roster. And I'm still going to say no and yes. I think it is more beneficial to bring a young player than it is to bring a 42-year-old who you're just trying to get a vanity medal. You're trying to give a 42-year-old a vanity medal who's not going to really have any impact, who's not as good right now, is not as good as Caitlin Clark. Obviously, prime Diana Taurasi is better than Caitlin Clark is right now. No one's going to argue that. But you got a prime Diana Taurasi who is was prime 10 years ago. And now you've got a young player in Caitlin Clark, and you're now going into the next Olympics with no players on the team who are going to be younger than 30. So you're going into the next Olympics with a bunch of players with no experience of Olympic basketball. At the next Olympics, I don't know if Alyssa Thomas makes the team. I'm not sure if Breanna Stewart makes the team. To be fair, Breanna Stewart probably will, but you just don't know how players are going to age. Are they all going to make the team again? Are they going to go as old as possible? Nafisa Collier is a week older than me. She's a week older than me. And like, by the next Olympics, she's going to be 31 years old. And she's going to be one of the younger ones. And she's like the third youngest on the team. You look at Breanna Stewart being 34. Is it 34? Yeah, 34 years old. So, you would have thought maybe bring at least one young player, so that when by the time a lot of these players are kind of getting on in age, that at least Caitlin Clark will be used to playing. And I'm not going to lie, they don't have a point guard. Chelsea Gray is injured. They don't have a point guard. And like the discourse is that like, even if Chelsea Gray is not back, Caitlin Clark's not making this team. It seems like they're going to stick with Chelsea Gray. There's no reason for them to announce Chelsea Gray on this team. There is no reason. She's not going to be back. Like, she's definitely... People are saying she's now questionable and they've listed her as active. She's doing stationary dribbling after a near year-long foot injury. If you are not running and doing what looks like 80% speed stuff after being out for 9 months, you're not going to be ready in 2 months. You're not going to be ready in 2 months if you're doing stationary drills. So Team USA is actually going out with a weakened roster because they don't have a point guard. They don't have someone to run the point. And we've seen from the last couple of games, Caitlin Clark is an exceptionally good point guard. She's exceptionally good at running the show. And if Caitlin Clark was on this team, she would be a passer. She'd be shooting the occasional 30-foot bomb when they're beating some of the bad teams by 40, but there are good teams, like Belgium are pretty good, Australia are going to be pretty good. They're not going to lose a game unless they really stink it up. But like, at the same time, they almost lost to Belgium in qualifiers, so it's possible they lose a game. It's highly unlikely, but it's possible. But I think Caitlin Clark would make the team better. There probably are point guards that would make the team better than Caitlin Clark. But like, I've been looking around the league and watching a lot, and I'm like, there aren't that many good actual point guards in this league. Like, Chelsea Gray, they call her the point god because she actually can facilitate an offense. But like, how many point guards in this league are able to do that? I'm convinced Julie Van Loo probably could. I'm trying to think of other teams. The Sky, Dane Evans, no. The Fever, or the, like, Sloot, fair enough. Yeah, cool. Really good point guard. For the Connecticut Sun, Alyssa Thomas basically plays the one. For the Fever, Caitlin Clark, fair enough. Chicago Sky, nobody. Atlanta Dream, no. Like, Ariel Atkins, a lot of the times plays ISO ball. And in the other conference, you've got the Aces. Jackie Young's doing a good job. She's still not a true point guard. You've got the Phoenix Mercury. Actually, you know what? If Natasha and the Cloud is probably is the player that probably should be in this, or Skylar Diggins-Smith. But the problem is that like Skylar Diggins-Smith and Diana Taurasi don't like each other. And because Diana Taurasi rules all, Skylar Diggins-Smith won't be on the team. And Diana Taurasi rules all, so Caitlin Clark won't be on this team. I have no idea what they're going to do. I have no idea, but you better believe if Chelsea Gray's out, it's probably going to be another damn UConn player. But, you know what? Paige Beckers from college. I'm calling out, I'm calling it out more likely to see Paige Beckers make the team than Caitlin Clark. I have a really weird feeling. I have a really, really weird feeling. But anyway, that is the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.